Well, hello, guys, and welcome to another Night with Phee, right here on the Phee Smee Network. Hope you guys are having a great Friday night. We're going to party like it's 1999. Just got back from basketball practice as next week starts the season for all of my students. So I had two that were absolutely excited to be there, fired up about it. I've got one young lady that has just made so much improvement in the last 6 months. She can't wait to get started. So I'm thankful for that. A lot of football going on throughout the state as it's playoff time in the state of Arkansas. I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy high school sports for the next month because then you've got basketball, and then after that, you got baseball. So it just keeps going when that school year's up. Right now, you've finished with volleyball and you're about finished with football. So we shall see what happens in the future. You know, coaching theology, I'm a life coach, a business deals, and a sports drills. Don't have any problem showing you and telling you and coaching you on things that are important in life. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Feast Me Network tonight. You can hit that share button, that like. You can even love us. Do whatever you can to help us as we get this message out, and we will rock and roll. If you're not here tonight, be safe, enjoy us, and catch us on those replays all throughout our platforms. If you want to ask a question, you can go to feastme.com. There's a questionnaire there. We've got a lot of different questions coming in from different topics, which I like. I do appreciate that. For about a week, all we had was prophecy questions due to this, everybody thinking the rapture was going to happen in September. So now we've been branching out. We've got some sports questions. We've had some math and science questions. We've had some relationship questions. So we're just going to continue to enjoy as we move forward during this very, very difficult times of this government shutdown. Tonight we're going to talk about what Phee and NASA and the World Health Organization have in common. That's right, the WHO, the World Health Organization. Phee is not a big fan of the World Health Organization, but they do agree with Phee that the number one thing that can sustain life, to create a sustainable ability to end world hunger. And when I had a vision on June the 24th, 2023, my Lord put it on my heart to have 12 projects. Each one of those 12 projects are life-changing, and one of them is curing world hunger. And the way you do that, NASA has now agreed with Phee, and the World Health Organization is now endorsing what Phee has been saying since 2022, when his life depended on it, and he asked his Lord for forgiveness and just an opportunity to see one grandchild. And my Lord said, you have such a lack of faith. Use the gifts I've given you. Go out and do my work, what I put you here for, and go and coach and to teach. And that is what I've done. Now all I have to do in front of this camera is to coach. Behind the camera, I've got several business and projects that I've got to go on that will help move in this direction. I don't have time to run businesses. My Lord has shown me what my purpose is, but I have projects that are worth billions and billions of dollars, and every one of them is a life-changing project. And so one of them was world hunger, and the best way to have a sustainable life and to be able to get all the nutrients that you need, especially if you're not going to change your diet, is algae tablets. Most algae tablets are made in Taiwan and in China, that region of the world. We have got to be able to grow algae in the United States of America. It's basically nothing but fresh water. It will give you 200 times the protein as a cattle farm will per acre. 200 times. It will sustain life if you do not eat. The nutrients and the proteins will allow you to get all that you need until you can finally get some food. The whole thing with what I learned, and I started at the very basics, was by September of 2022, I had the gojo berries, I had the algae tablets, I had the honey, and I had the Himalayan pink salt. Your body has to have sugar, your body has to have salt, your body has to have clean water, and your body has to have nutrients. Honey, pink salt, algae tablets, and fresh water. That's all you have to have in order to be healthy in a difficult environment. So NASA, why would they get on board with algae tablets? Because they're going to have people in space, and they're going to have nutrients in space, and they have found that those algae tablets will sustain very, very well balanced because of all of the different things that they have, and more importantly, in order to get those proteins and those amino acids, not to have anything negative to come along with them. You know, a lot of the foods you eat right now, the labels don't tell the story because they don't have to list the ingredients that bind those different types of ingredients together. They don't have to list at the end, the process they had to go through to make the end product. So what you're seeing is a list of what they have in the finished product, how they made it, how they bound it, all those things you're not aware of. For example, very few people know that almost all different restaurant chains, when they cook chicken nuggets or chicken tenders, they do so with a chemical that is used for yoga mat. It basically is a rubberized where it will not bubble and it will bind together. So that is what they're actually, and it's just not one of them, it's almost in every one of them. And it is a chemical compound that you'll never read about in the labels. Your algae tablets gives you an alkaline diet. There is no cancer or disease that can live in an alkaline diet. You had Mr. Warburg in 1931 win the Nobel Prize because he proved that there's no disease or cancer that can live in an alkaline environment. And that's been almost 100 years. And you still haven't heard about that? That's by design. You can be very, very healthy. You can improve almost all aspects of your body if you eat algae tablets, drink pure water, drink or eat honey, and have plenty of pink Himalayan salt. Some people like the Celtic salt. Either one of them are good. For me, and from a cellular generative standpoint, the Himalayan pink salt is better for Phee. But those are the things you have to do. So NASA believes in the algae tablets. Now, here's the kicker. The World Health Organization wants to tell you what to eat. They want to eliminate all the meats. Okay, so for them to jump on board with the algae nutrients tablets tells me that they know that's the food source they're going to be giving the one world government, the one world religion in the last 3.5 years. The World Health Organization wants to dictate what vaccines you take, how much food that you have, what types of food it is, and they plan to tell you what vaccinations, what medicines, all the things that you don't want them to have anything to do with in your life, they will be involved with. And if you take that mark, it'll all be listed, and you'll also have a social credit score. So the World Health Organization, an organization that I do not like, and they still are looking and planning to do exactly what Phee's been telling you. And that is they're going to feed, and they're going to have their food source will be algae tablets. So we may as well get on board. We may as well start farming algae tablets in the United States. If you can do it easily, and we can package them. And we will, I promise you, from a food store standpoint, you do not have to change your diet, which most of you will not do. You're not getting the nutrients. So at worst case, I don't recommend it, But if you will not change your diet, you still can get the nutrients without changing your diet with the algae tablets. Honey, it's nature's one of nature's greatest properties for inflammation. It's loaded with antioxidants. It's by far the best that I've ever seen from a property standpoint that you would actually enjoy. My son. Anyway, honey, people get upset with me because I use way what people think is too much honey. And I tell them you cannot get enough honey and enough salt and enough good water. You do that and you get the nutrients, you will live. I mean, my body's shot and I feel good most of the time because of the honey, because of the pink salt, because of the algae tablets, and because of the water. If you can do that, I drink a lot of coffee. I tell people I get my water with my coffee and my green tea. But if I'm outside, I'm doing anything, I'm drinking lots of water. I want to basically hydrate my body with that pink salt and with that honey. Your body's got to have sugar and it's got to have salt. If you get pure water and you get all the nutrients from those algae tablets, you're going to be much better off. So say thank you to NASA and thank you to the World Health Organization. But before you do that, make sure that you know that Phee told them way before they came out with it that algae tablets would be the food source for the world. And we need to get on that. We don't need to be the last one to the table. We need to be one of the first to the table because there's not anybody out there right now that has any market share whatsoever because nobody's taking algae tablets. The ones that are, very small percentage. So we will continue to talk about the properties and the good things about algae tablets, honey, pure water, Himalayan pink salt at the end. But thank you for these questions. Now we will jump right into them. First question, Phee, who do you think will be the Democratic nominee for president in 2028? Joseph from Rhode Island. Joseph, I think you are the first question I've had from Rhode Island, at least for a while, so I do appreciate that. Who do I think will be the nominee? First of all, you would go to who would be the list of the nominees. So I don't think they're going to be going with the old Bernie Sanders anymore. You've got the AOC, you've got the Hakeem Jeffries. Those are the two minorities and folks that are socialist and communist. Then you have Gavin Newsom from California that is connected with Nancy Pelosi. And you have Kamala Harris, which ran last time. And you also have the New York Socialist Communist Mayor Mondavi. Those would be the list of candidates that I would give you that will be seeking the nomination. I'm sure there will be several more, but there won't be any more that are bigger than those. When it's all said and done, your Gavin Newsom boy will be the less crazy, left-wingish than the Mondavi. I don't think that you'll have AOC or Jeffries ever get a shot now that Mondavi is taking over her type of folks. And Kamala Harris, anybody that would spend that kind of money, be in debt, and they put her in a bad situation, and she became the scapegoat, as to speak. But if I had to narrow it down, it'd be Mondavi and Newsom. Newsom's better looking. We'll just see if that Islamic president continues to grow over the next 2 years. But if I had to choose now, I'd say Gavin Newsom. If that Islamic support in the United States, which is now at 30%, if it gets into that 40%, you might see the communist socialist mayor of New York run. But right now, I would say Gavin Newsom of California is probably the favorite. And that would be my handicapping on the Democratic nominee for 2028. I do appreciate the question from Rhode Island, Joseph. Next question, Phee, you said that the biggest problem with this government shutdown would be the air traffic controllers. What about the people that are hungry? Will we go through the holidays with this shutdown? Bonnie from Texas. Bonnie, this shutdown will be shut. It will be open as soon as they want it to. You're seeing some compromise now, or at least they're acting like they're trying to compromise. The reason I said the air traffic controllers is because they are the most important part of this government shutdown when it comes to travel, air safety, especially during the holiday seasons. It would surprise me if they did not reach some type of an agreement before Thanksgiving because of the holiday travel season. That's going to continue to play an important role. I think you're going to see some more accidents, as they will say, here over the next few months. I would not be wanting people to travel at this point, and it's at this time. I know there's all kinds of delays. People are making all types of, every news channel now has a list of the delays and of the different airports. So they're making a big deal out of it. I was a little ahead of the curve, and if you want to stay ahead of the curve, stay tuned to the Phee Network. But there's only been, I think, 2 plane problems in the last 2 weeks. So if you average 2 a week, or that makes sense to me. I don't think you're going to have 25 fall out of the air in one day, but if you average about 2 a week with these problems, then they'll continue to use it to their political advantage on both sides. But it's you're not going to know the real reason for a while. But there's a reason, and you'll find out soon enough what that reason is and why they've shut down this government. I think from one standpoint, you can do an awful lot to maneuver and change from a strategic standpoint during a timeout. And that's what this amounts to. Nobody thinks that this is the end of the game and there'll never be another government that reopens. So basically it's a stalling tactic. And there's a reason why they're stalling. There's a reason why that both sides are acting like they want to get it done and blaming the other side. Because it's as easy as extending the same exact thing they've extended 3 times before. That's how easy it is. So if they want Obamacare to be in effect for another 6 months, while they extend it, I guarantee the Republicans would get that done unless they've got a reason they don't want to. And I think the reason you're going to find in the future, one of them for sure, is this Venezuelan situation. And I think there's a lot of things going on in that whole conflict that people aren't aware of. And once they're aware of that, it might make more sense why the government has not reopened. And if the Democrats are looking for chaos to create from folks to rioting because they're not getting their money, and again, you've got folks that have the ability to make them get that money. But it's going to get crazy. It's going to get very, very chaotic, whether the government's open or whether it's shut. They really have no effect on the civil unrest that's going to happen. If people aren't getting their SNAP benefits, their EBTs, their food stamps, their disabilities, their dadgum, all the things that they're saying that are coming, they've got them taking away Social Security. They're going to try to scare everybody in every situation. But they can reopen the government whenever they want to, and that's a smoke and mirrors situation. But if they do it through the holidays, they're going to have a whole lot of folks throwing a fit. So why wouldn't it make more sense to try to be the hero of getting that done before the holiday season, and to where people can feel comfortable about going and seeing their loved ones during the holidays? If not, you're looking at create complete chaos, and that's where it's headed anyway. I don't recommend flying if you can drive. But yes, air traffic controllers, I was way ahead of the curve on that one, because that's serious. You can have a car wreck and walk away from it. Very few people have a plane wreck and walk away from it. That's a risk and reward situation for Phee. I do appreciate the question, Bonnie, I will tell you that when you start talking about people being hungry, then once they reach a certain point on being hungry, then you're looking at a situation where they aim to eat, and that doesn't mean that means they'll do whatever they have to do in order to feed their families, and that's what a certain a group of people are counting on. They're counting on that people are going to get hungry. They're going to get cold in the winter. They're not going to have their utilities on, and they're not going to be able to pay their bills. They've got all kinds of insecurities, and they're lining up right for a time of the year to execute what they want to be executed. And so let's be on alert. Let's continue to move in the right direction, knowing what's going to happen. And what's going to happen is you're going to have cyber attacks, terrorist attacks, all kinds of accidents, civil unrest, and civil war is what they're aiming for. But our National Guard, our ICE, our military, our first responders, they'll be the heroes of the day as we continue to win, because the United States plans on winning. So yes, I don't want anybody to be hungry. My father, he grew up hungry most of his life. Went from the time he was born till he got out of high school. He lost one brother one day that was 13 months old, and one brother the next day, which was 4 days old, both due to starvation. And he was born in 1929, the year of the Great Depression, in the poor state, in the poorest area of the state. Sharecroppers were his parents, not educated, obviously didn't have a place, any meat, any cows, anything to sustain the milk from the mother, from the breast. And so he endured a lot, and he went to bed hungry a lot. He slept at the schoolhouse a lot in the dark. He had a shop teacher that would unlock a window for him because he'd have to walk 7 miles to school and 7 miles back. He didn't get to start school until after he picked cotton in November, but he still was the valedictorian of his class. And he told me a lot of times that I don't have a lot, but I'll always feed somebody if you know they're hungry. So that's a project that's dear to my heart. These algae tablets will help with world hunger. And yes, there will be people that are hungry in the United States, and these homeless are hungry. There's over 15 million of them that are about 40% are mentally ill because of water and food. This COVID crushed their water supply and crushed their food. And so you've got a real problem with hunger in this country, much less the world. But yes, air traffic controllers would be the as far as concern me from a safety issue, but the hunger part of it, it's near and dear to my heart as well. And I certainly think the algae tablets would help in that situation, but I don't think we'll have time if it's the next 6 or 8 weeks with this civil unrest to get that done. That's in order for me to get that done the way I need to get it done. It's 6 months to a year away. Being able for you to go and to get enough algae that you can actually process it at your home in case of an emergency and you don't have the food, that's something that you need to be doing now. So that's why I bring that up, and that's why we talked about algae and honey and Himalayan pink salt and water tonight at the first of the show. So thank you, Bonnie from Texas. I do not believe the shutdown will last through the holidays, but that's just a guess. Has nothing to do with my vision. Next question. Phee, what are your thoughts on Saudi Arabia? Gina from Missouri. Not a big fan of Saudi Arabia, Gina. What really made me unhappy in 2001 was that 17 of those 21 bombers were from Saudi Arabia, and we attacked Afghanistan, and that day changed my life tremendously and changed the future back then of my life path. So that upset me at the point at that time. Saudi Arabia has money, tons of oil, when the Jewish nation did not accept my Lord Jesus, God said that He would put a block over their eyes, and that they would not be able to have an understanding of what's going on with Jesus, and the people around them would be risen up. So you've got Israel over there with it's just farmland is what they have, and a couple of cities where the people around them are rich in oil and rich in earth minerals. So that's happened. God has done that. But He's going to protect the nation of Israel, and that Holy Land, it includes a whole lot of different countries now. Remember, for many, many years, Israel wasn't a nation. It wasn't until after World War II that they became a nation again. And then, of course, in 1967, they went to war again. So my Lord's blessed them, and He says that once those dry bones are back in their land from Ezekiel, that no generation would pass before the second coming. So that's what's happened. That's what's happening now. People that are alive today will see the second coming of Jesus Christ. It's not going to be very much longer. It's not going to be in 7 years. It's going to be 7+ years to wherever they sign that two-state solution temporary peace plan. But until then, you've got at least 7 years. So we'll go from there. We've got a 6-trumpet war that we've got to go through that kills a third of mankind. And then we've got to go up to find a man that's going to rise up on peace and have 3.5 years of before he steps in that tabernacle or that temple, and that's not even built yet, stops those sacrifices and proclaims himself as God. So those events have to transpire. Remember, all of the prophecy in the Bible will come true. Not 90%, not 98%, 100% of them will come true. So that's why I know He will not come for at least 7 years. But what we've got to go through, and what I've seen between now and the time He comes back at the 7th trumpet, it's not only alarming, it is very, very scary. If you're not prepared, you will be deceived. If you're not ahead of the curve, you're going to make some mistakes, because these folks are fixing to put on a show like nobody's ever seen before. And we've got to stay ahead of the curve and be a couple of moves ahead of them. So I appreciate the question, Bonnie in Texas. And now we go to the Saudi Arabia, and Gina from Missouri. I said that Saudi Arabia was dangerous and would be a big player in the end times. I talked to you about 9/11 and 17 of the 21 there. Here's the reason that they're going to be a real player. Not only have they supported the petrodollar for the U.S. currency for the last 50 years, now they're involved with Brazil and Russia and India and Saudi Arabia with China, with this BRICS nation. So now they have a currency with these people as well. They play both sides of the fence. They're in negotiations now to do business with Israel. So those are they've got their hands in everybody's pockets. And what has to happen in the end is they'll be on that side of that one world government, or they will be taken over by another country in that area. And the United States has a real stronghold in that country as far as military. So we've got lots of different military bases throughout the Middle East region. It'll be interesting to see how that gives us an advantage, not only in the Middle East, but also with the conflict that we'll be involved in with this World War III. So that's Gina. That's what I would tell you about when we start talking about Saudi Arabia, is that they're dangerous. They have what they call an Arab Brotherhood that it has Arabs from all the Arab nations. They're not on the terror watch list, but a lot of people would tell you they would put them in the same category as Hezbollah and Hamas and the Houthis. So again, I don't know why they're not and the other folks are, but the Arab Brotherhood they've got a lot of power, and they're not well known. So again, Saudi Arabia is very dangerous to me, and they want nuclear weapons, and I don't think that they're going to get nuclear weapons. But they're supposed to be over here sometime this week or next week, I think, for meetings as leaders continue to come in throughout the world to see our president. So I do appreciate the question, Gina, when it comes to what are my thoughts on Saudi Arabia. Next question. Phee, please explain why you think Jordan will stand with Israel and the United States in the last 7 years. Jordan is made up mostly of Palestinians. Raha from Minnesota. Yes, right now Jordan's politics, the king of Jordan tends to be able to have a very, very good relationship with the United States. They seem to be able to play well with others in that region. So right now I would tell you that you're right. A lot of people think the Palestinians came from the Philistines and have always been in that Gaza region. But you would find that that a lot of the country of Jordan is made up from Palestinians. So that is correct. I believe they're discussing now being a part, along with Egypt, on some future peace plans that have some of the biblical characteristics of the final one. We'll see where that goes. And you have some more folks trying to join the Abrams Accord and try to talk more about this Gaza security council and security force that will be trying to implement that peace in the Middle East. So Jordan, you'll have to go to, in order to get a biblical viewpoint why that I can tell you that Jordan will stand with Israel and the United States in the end, is you will have to go to Daniel 11. And if you'll go to Daniel 11, and I believe it's 40 through 42. 40 through 42. And this Daniel 11 is a great chapter. If you would like to read it, it is about the Antichrist, about the last 3.5 years and all the wars and fightings, and the king of the north and the king of the south, and all of the, just really, really great. But we'll start in verse 40 for just this. It says, "And at the time of the end shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots and with horsemen, and with many ships. He shall enter into the countries, and shall overflow and pass over. He shall enter into the glorious land, and many countries shall be overthrown. But these shall escape out of his hand." But these shall escape out of his hand, even Edom and Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon. That, ladies and gentlemen, are the three tribes, the northern, the southern, and the central part of Jordan. So those, Edom, Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon, is the reason that Jordan will stand with the United States and Israel in the end against the whole world. And that tells you right there, if you'd like to continue to read it. I wanted to bring up also in Daniel 11 why this is my purpose. This is why I'm still living. And every time it's one of my first and favorite verses. If you go to 33 through 35, and you'll find what I really like, if I could find on the phone. "And they that understand among the people shall instruct many." I like that. See, my goal is that because I understand, my Lord gave me this vision, it is my responsibility to coach you. If I have this understanding, it is my responsibility. It's what my purpose is, what my Lord made me for, knitted me in my mother's womb, and has kept me from death, including terminal illness throughout my life, is because of that verse. "And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries. But the people that do know their God shall be strong and do exploits. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many. Yet they shall fall by the sword, and by the flame, by captivity, and by spoil many days. Now when they shall fall, they shall be whole pinned with a little help, but many shall cleave to them with flatteries. And some of them of understanding shall fall, to try them, and to purge, and to make them white, even to the time of the end, because it is yet for a time appointed. Now, that is I understand what that means, and that many will fall by the sword and slay and be captive, but they will still, because of their love for their Lord, instruct, and because they have the understanding, it is my responsibility to coach you. So that's how you know Jordan is going to be a part of the United States and Israel at the end against the one world government. Yes, their politics would tell you, and yes, the Palestinians in their country would tell you that that would be wrong, but the basic instructions before leaving earth, the Word of God, which is truth, it tells you that that's going to happen. So that's what I'm going to stand with. I do appreciate that question, and I will continue to talk to you about Jordan as those three tribes make up that country. And it's amazing how some of those countries' borders and how the lines have moved, and some of them have not. But you can rest assured that Jordan will stand with the United States and Israel in the end. You know, I wanted to talk to you tonight about some things that were really important to me back when I was dying in 2022, and how my Lord blessed me and allowed me to find life-changing nutrients in algae tablets, and how now that NASA and the World Health Organization agrees that algae tablets can sustain life. And those are important issues, but you also realize that you cannot live without sugar or salt. Your blood chemistry and your sugar levels have to be a certain point, as well as your salt. You can't be dehydrated. You have to have the water levels up. But as far as nutrients are concerned, you're going to have to realize the power of algae tablets. The amino acids, the proteins that are involved in them, the daily value that you would be getting from this would be off the charts compared to what other supplements that you would be taking. So if you're looking for a very limited amount of money to spend on something that will change your lives and make you healthy, definitely, number one is algae tablets. Number two would be nothing but honey. I can tell you that you're going to have honey, and algae will just really do wonders for your body. Even if your body is diseased, even if your body has been in organ failure, if you have any types of cancers, you have to realize that disease and cancer cannot live in an alkaline environment. And that's just science, and it works. And why that people don't know that, it's beyond me. But I'm here to tell you that you get on the algae tablets and change your diet. But if you don't change your diets, you're going to have to get on the algae tablets in order to get the nutrients, because 5 or 10 years after from 18 to 28, you're going to start feeling sluggish. And 28 to 38, you're going to really feel it. By the time you've been doing this 20 years without the nutrients, you've already got disease in your body. And 40% of you got a fatty liver disease right now. And you don't know it because you don't have any symptoms. And the pancreas and the liver are just two organs that don't give you a whole lot of problem until it's too late. So that's why it is important that you do have some screenings, check your liver enzymes, as well as your blood sugar. But kidneys, liver, skin disease, wasn't expected to live through the night. No way to live 30 days. My Lord told me to go to work, and I found those algae tablets, and I found those gojo berries. And gojo berries, again, you'll find it, the Himalayan pink salt, the algae, the gojo berries. 3 of the 4 of them is from in that Asia, that China region, those provinces over there. And that's a long ways from here. And they've got a lot of great resources over there. but there's nothing that we can't buy or manufacture or make or grow here in the United States that has those type of properties. So again, NASA, the WHO, not the music group, but the World Health Organization, and Phee actually have something in common. I do appreciate you guys tuning in to Night with Phee tonight on the Phee Smead Network. I hope you've been nickel and diming, two-line rhyming with me. Remember, no matter what you're doing, you're missing something. So let's make what we're doing worth what we're missing. Night, night.